Alamo Stadium in San Antonio, where the Riders in their home opener, even with a Frankfurt Galaxy at 3 apiece. Well, welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Boomer Esiason along with you. Last week we had all kinds of points, Boomer. We didn't know what to do with all of them. We got a 3-3 tie here, but you like that defense.
Well, I don't really like the defense, to tell you the truth. I'd rather see the points. But, if I'm Mike Riley, I'm scratching my head because last week they lost the game on special teams. And this week their special teams has been very disappointing, to say the least. I think we've had 3 kicks for a total of 12 yards, and one of those kicks was a kickoff.
Remember, Garcia missed an extra point last week that could have sent the Orlando game into overtime, and then the punter, Kent Sullivan, having all kinds of trouble for San Antonio. But we've gotten some interesting perspectives from helmet cam again tonight, haven't we?
We sure have. This is unbelievable for me to watch this because this is exactly how it is when we're in the pocket. Here he goes. He's on his scramble to the left and actually gets hemmed in, and you could see him getting hemmed in there. At least Saltz, that is.
You don't always end up on your backside, though. Sometimes you find your wide receiver, which he will here in a moment.
And on this particular play, it was a scramble. You can see that the 2 outside linebackers come unblocked. Actually, he's running down the sideline, and the receiver does a nice job coming back and gets his feet out of bounds.
And then the final play of the half, and you remember Lee Saltz says, I'm going to put one up there. You guys try to come down with her. Maybe we'll get an interference call. Well, he got more than that, didn't he?
Now, I wonder if Tim Brody, mom, knows that he does this on the field. Look at this. Boom. Where did he learn that?
I don't know. That, folks, is called a forearm shiver by Tim Brody. That was the final play of the half. We're almost set for the second half in San Antonio. It's the Riders and the Galaxy, even at 3 on a beautiful night in the heart of Texas.
No one can guarantee you a perfect world. A world where the unexpected never intrudes. But some of us know we'll be taken care of quickly and compassionately. In an imperfect world, you're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
Homeowners, what will you do when your local landfill refuses to take branches, leaves, and other yard wastes anymore? Piling up these materials creates an awful eyesore, and burning is just not the answer. But now, the Troy-built Tomahawk Chipper Shredder offers a modern, easy way to dispose of all your yard wastes. The Tomahawk devours leaves, brush, and prunings, and chips branches up to 3 inches thick. It conveniently bags the shreddings and wood chips it produces, so you can easily recycle these materials as free fertilizers and attractive landscape mulch. The Tomahawk Chipper Shredder will make your property look great by turning hard-to-get-rid-of trash into treasure. For your free catalog on the complete lineup of Tomahawk Chipper Shredder models for small and large properties, call toll-free 1-800-645-8900. There is no obligation, so call today. That's 1-800-645-8900. Operators are standing by.
The World League on USA is brought to you by Allstate. For home, auto, life, and business insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Alamo Stadium is sold out for the home opener for the hometown Riders. Halftime statistics. Let's take a look. Look at the rushing yards for San Antonio, and most of that is Ricky Blake, Boomer.
Ricky Blake had 84 yards on 11 carries for a 7.6 average. That's quite a night so far.
Time of possession fairly close. 2 turnovers. Frankfurt with a couple of fumbles.
And I consider some of those kicks turnovers.
That's right.
I mean, they really are, because the kicking game is what gives teams field position. And when you're a coach and you're struggling offense, you expect your special teams to give you field position, to take some of the heat off of your offense. And that just hasn't happened for San Antonio tonight. I think they'd be in a better situation than they are right now.
Teddy Garcia missed a long field goal that was blocked, and then had a kickoff that looked as though it was blocked. And he has got it teed up right now to kick it away to start our third quarter. Tony Baker and Cedric Gordon are back deep for the Galaxy of Frankfurt.
I'm a little impressed, or I should say I am impressed with Frankfurt, because we knew that they had some awful travel plans. We talked about this earlier, but they had a 7-hour bus ride from Paris to, from Frankfurt to Paris, and then they had an overnight flight to, I guess it was to Atlanta, then from Atlanta to San Antonio, and they had to get acclimated time-wise. And actually, I think they landed on Wednesday here in San Marcos, Texas.
Okay, stay on sides now. This actually starts a 3-game North American swing for them. They have the New York, New Jersey Knights and the Sacramento Surge before they go back across the ocean.
I wonder what that distance is, Sacramento.
Penalty on the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter. And a fumble on a mishandled kick return. Now let's wait and see.
It's offsides by the kicking team. Mike Riley is going to go crazy if they recover a fumble here.
And now we got a little fight going on here, but they're trying to get straightened out as Greg Gilbert comes out of the pile with the football.
We have offside on the kicking team.
I think I heard a whistle as that kick was in the air, and that saves San Antonio.
Short kick, tough to handle. There's a little bit of a wind. He's actually, Garcia looks like he's kicking into about a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind. Tough to feel for Baker. But I think Mike Riley is going to practice special teams.
I think we may not have the opportunity to turn his mic on for at least a couple more plays if they don't get a good kickoff here. There's Mike.
Covering his mic.
5 penalties each way tonight so far. Riley, CFL Coach of the Year on a couple of occasions in '88 and in 1990 with his Winnipeg club winning the Grey Cup last year.
We talked to a couple of his players last night, and they all said to a man that they love playing for him. That he's the type of guy that you really want to throw everything out on the field for. And, that's nice to know, because he seems to be a real nice man and really knows his football. He's got this team in shape.
This kick goes right down the middle. It is also mishandled by Gordon, and he's just going to stay there at the 21-yard line. This one's been a special teams nightmare so far, as Jack Elway and Mike Perez will talk it over on the sideline.
I don't think that this has really been, I don't think you can call them special teams, actually.
That's true. That's something like saying jumbo shrimp, right?
That's right.
A little oxymoron that does not pertain tonight. They are unspecial teams, non-special teams. At the 21-yard line, the Galaxy offensively. Baker cuts back. Nice run out near the 28-yard line. Donnie Gardner in on the stop. Listening to Mike Perez. He gets the signal from the sideline, and he'll let us know what the play is going to be.
Here we go. Trips right, jet. 32nd and 2 on 2, right? Hustle out, hustle out.
2nd down and 3 for the Galaxy. Perez 4 out of 17 in the first half. Had a lot of drop passes. Baker all wrapped up by Mark Ledbetter. Ledbetter's had a good game defensively. Ledbetter coming from the left side to make the stop on Baker. Nobody touched him.
Somebody missed a block there.
Brings up 3rd down and 3. Galaxy on their opening possession of the 3rd quarter.
I think our producer Kenny Wolf couldn't even made it through that hole and made that tackle.
I don't know. Perez over the middle, and he's got his big tight end all the way out to the 48-yard line. Chad Fortune, and that's the first time they've gone to him. I thought we'd have seen a little bit more of that. Fortune had a pretty good game last week, first-year player out of Louisville.
You'd like to see him use him a little bit more at 6'5", 230 pounds. Rather large target. See, Mike throws over his front foot, comes through, hits Fortune right in the numbers. A good tight end is going to punish his would-be tacklers, and that's exactly what Fortune did there.
Gilbert finally made the stop, but not until Fortune got to the 49-yard line. First down. Perez swings it out to Baker with a head of steam, and Tony Baker's got a first down to the 37-yard line of San Antonio.
Good play call there. They caught San Antonio in the zone defense. Linebackers dropping back 8-9 yards from the line of scrimmage. Affords Baker some room on the outside here. Makes a nice catch. A la Walter Payton right there.
And Baker makes 14 yards out of it. Another Galaxy first down, back-to-back pass completions for Perez. His team now at the 36 of San Antonio. Plenty of time for Perez, and now he's run out of it. And he's going deep.
He's got
Gordon's
him.
out there. Touchdown. Perez hooks up with Cedric Gordon. 36 yards. Touchdown, Frankfurt.
It's amazing what happens when your receivers catch the ball, Brad. I'll tell you, he showed a lot of poise on that particular play in the pocket. Moved away from the rush and found Gordon going against the grain. Actually, what happens there is that Perez was moving to his left, and the receiver's moving back to his right. And as Perez is moving to his left, the defense kind of moves with him.
Sean Dyke's got a little trap there, and Gordon's got a 36-yard touchdown.
And Sean's just moving along with the quarterback, and then the receiver gets right in behind him.
Stefan Maslow in for the point after. There's the first pretty kick of the night. Extra point, up and good. We'll get another look at Cedric Gordon with a big smile after a 36-yard touchdown catch. As Mike Perez loads it and goes deep. And the first touchdown of the night is Frankfurt's. They lead 10-3.
Because after working out, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Talking about Coors Light, it's the right beer now. Pour it on and work it out.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the only razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face.
The best a man can get.
Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. The closest, safest, most comfortable. Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of foamy shave cream, for the best shave a man can get.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Power Stick Antiperspirant. It gives a man what he needs to excel. Power. Control. Power Stick. Stroke per stroke, 50% more power. 50% more odor and wetness fighters. 24-hour control that ordinary deodorant sticks just can't beat. All day, all night. Power Stick for 24-hour control.
Okay, here we go. Here's the last touchdown play. Cedric Gordon right here running a down and in pattern. Mike Perez dropping back, moving away from the rush. Sean Dykes then moving with Mike Perez, enabling Cedric Gordon to get behind him for the touchdown back in here. Here you go. You can see Cedric Gordon running right up the field. Everybody moving with him. And he gets in behind Dykes for the nice play and a nice throw by Mike Perez. He showed a lot of poise in that play, Brad.
Third catch of the night for Gordon, and Perez on the whole drive looked good. Over 3 for 3 on that drive that capped off a 79-yard march for the touchdown.
He's just doing what he's doing all night long, throwing the ball where it's catchable.
Bill Hess brings it out of the end zone and got it out near the 24-yard line. Let's go to Michael Barkan. What do you got, Mark?
I'll tell you what, Brad, we just heard Boomer's analysis and illustration of the whole thing. We'll talk to the guy who threw the pass, Mike Perez. What happened on that play?
Well, it was designed to go underneath, but the linebackers didn't get a deep enough drop, and the rush forced me to the left. So as I rolled out to the left, I still kept my eyes upfield and was able to find our receiver, Cedric Gordon, head across the field. And just worked out. He wasn't the primary, but I'm glad he kept running.
Is the passing game, in your view, effective against these guys, or would you rather run more?
Well, they're playing pretty good defense, and I'll take nothing away from San Antonio. We just got to execute our game, and hopefully, things open up.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Brad.
All right, guys. Andre Johnson carries for about 6 yards out to the 30 for San Antonio.
San Antonio's got to pick it up here. They go to their no-huddle offense, and Lee has really got to get them moving. Can't allow Frankfurt to control the momentum of this game in your home stadium.
2nd and 4. Look out. Loose ball. Frankfurt's got it. Mraz made the hit, and I think Kevin Hendricks is the guy that scoops it at the 25-yard line.
It's almost the same thing that happened to Jason Garrett last week.
Here comes Mraz.
Fumble recovered by Kevin Hendricks.
The interesting thing there is they only had a 3-man rush there. Lee was going to go to his inside slot down here on the right side, and he gets knocked down. Hello.
Well, obviously didn't see him coming.
Oh, well, you know, things happen.
At the 25, Perez going deep again. Another man open. He just overshot Jason Johnson, who ran out of room on the far side. And you see a little blood on the elbow of Saltz, the quarterback, who really took a shot from Mraz from the blind side.
You got a little shaken up on that play. It's AstroTurf. This place is called the Rock Pile, by the way. And one of the reasons the players call it the Rock Pile is it's almost like playing on rocks down there. AstroTurf is not a fun field to play on for any player.
2nd and 10. Galaxy with a play fake by Perez. A lot of room in front of him. He throws, and it's complete inside the 10 to the 8-yard line to Craig Morton.
But Frankfurt is coming out smoking this second half. A little play action fake, half roll. Had the San Antonio defense completely fooled. This is man coverage right here. Getting good separation, concentration on the ball. They're catching the ball this half.
Nice grab by Craig Morton. He's got a good football name there. Not a quarterback, but a wide receiver who's got Frankfurt a 1st and goal.
He's got to get rid of this ball now. It's 3 seconds on the play clock.
Just got the snap off. Tony Baker takes it to the 4-yard line. Let's go to New York and an update on the other game we got going on tonight with Diana Nyad.
Brad, the crowd is 54,000 strong up in Montreal tonight, but the home fans have seen Barcelona score 21 unanswered points. The last TD being this 1-yard plunge by Lydell Carr. That makes it 21-10 as we start the 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Brad Nessler.
Here it's a 10-3 ball game, and Frankfurt trying to add to it, and the ball comes out, but it was blown dead as Baker went down at about the 3.
You know, the interesting thing that happens down here, Brad, is that everybody gets packed in. That's almost impossible.
You're too stacked up inside.
There you go. Quarterback's telling us 2 stacked up inside. Stop running inside. Listen to me.
Time out. Time out.
Mike Perez is going to call a timeout to go argue with his coaches.
Well, the coaches want to run it up inside. He said, we can't run it inside.
With it.
All right, here we go. Mike's going to come over here and tell him, look, they're 2 stacked inside.
2-yard line.
He's okay out there.
All right, here you go.
Hey.
This is like talking to the moon.
Let's see if Mike Perez and Jack Elway
3rd and 3.
have a difference of opinion here.
3rd and goal.
3rd and goal.
On the 3, right?
Yeah, we're on the 3-yard line.
All right, I write 4:36, OT at 7.
It's probably the way Mike Perez is running back on the field. Looks like he's getting ready to throw a touchdown pass. No argument, nothing. So it could be a play action pass here. Let's see what happens.
Mike is 4 out of 5 this half.
I write 4:36, OT at 7. On set right.
Okay.
San Antonio changes up their defense at the last instant.
I right tells the backfield line in an I formation. Your tight end to the right side. Could be a play action pass. Let's see what happens. There it is.
There's a play fake to the end zone. Just overshot Steve Bartello.
You know, it's amazing how the quarterbacks, you know, forget it. We don't want to run up in the middle. And these are the cheap touchdown passes that we all love.
He's wide open.
He was open and overshot his intended receiver.
The nice thing here is a tough throw running to his right, trying to throw back to his left. And he actually had 2 guys, and I think he had a little indecision as to who he was throwing it to.
Stefan Maslow in for the field goal attempt of 20 yards. And a bad snap. And Frankfurt's going to come up empty on this drive. Alex Espinoza, the backup quarterback, couldn't handle the snap from center. And it remains 10-3, Frankfurt in front. So they waste a big opportunity to tack on 3 more points.
Espinosa's got to hold on to that ball. I do not want to be in a special teams meeting for either of these teams tomorrow.
9:09 to go third quarter. We'll be back.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
This is an important message for U.S. veterans discharged after 1940. Whether you served during peacetime or war and are currently aged 30 to 69, call this toll-free number now for free, no-obligation information about a veterans-only term life plan that costs just $1 a week. These veterans' life insurance benefits are guaranteed never to go down, and they are available at the guaranteed rate of just $1 a week. There is no waiting period. Benefits are paid from the first day of coverage. Call this number now for free information about this $1-a-week veterans-only life plan. Remember, only veterans, their spouses and widows, age 30 to 69, qualify for this offer. Term life insurance for $1 a week. Don't wait. Call this toll-free number now for free information from Veterans Life Insurance Company.
They're making the biggest comeback in swashbuckling history. One for all, come on! Richard Chamberlain, Kim Cattrall, Michael York, the return of the Musketeers, Wednesday at 9.
Here we go, let's go. Eye wide right, 32 trap on 1, ready?
There you go, 32 trap up the middle. The ball will be handed off to Poli's left. The left guard should be pulling to the right, trapping one of the defensive linemen that are penetrating.
We got an eye backfield for the first time tonight for San Antonio. Boy, it was a quick draw. He almost missed the handoff. Ricky Blake got it out near the 20.
He had the right guard pulling. He led.
San Antonio, Texas. Here's a question for you. Will Swamp Thing rescue his arch enemy in order to save the swamp? It's a deadly decision on an all-new episode of Swamp Thing, Friday night. 10:30, 9:30 Central here on USA. We've got our own Swamp Thing, Michael Barkan, who's somewhere on the sideline. We'll go on to him here in a couple of minutes. 2nd down and 7. And Andrew Johnson got it out near the 24-yard line. Kevin Hendricks in on the stop.
Looks like San Antonio is just trying to calm themselves down a little bit. Trying to run the ball a little bit more. 3rd and 4. You know, I never understood this. We have the wave going on right now.
While his team's on offense.
While his team's on offense.
Supposed to do that when the other team's got the ball.
Exactly.
Johnson sets up in a slot there at the top of your screen. Salts fires.
That's got to be interference. That's interference.
An interference call coming up on Cedric Stallworth.
You know, that's a close call there, Brad, because you got to decide. I mean, the defender has the right to the ball, but he cannot impede the offender's.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, 15 yards, first down.
Road to that pass. And that's exactly what happened there.
Cedric Stallworth doesn't like the call.
You know, these guys, he's saying, hey, look, I have every right to that football. But not if you're going to hit the receiver before the ball gets there.
Cedric Stallworth, an all-ACC performer at Georgia Tech, an academic all-ACC performer as an electrical engineer, but he didn't have that one engineered quite right. And he comes up with a 15-yard penalty at the 39-yard line. San Antonio, first down. They're trying to tell their crowd to calm down. The crowd's having too much fun.
The crowd is having a great time.
You're supposed to have to quiet the crowd when you're down near the goal line. They're having to do it out of their own 39-yard line. Ricky Blake got to the 40. That's it. Pickup of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Yepi Pau made the stop defensively along with Kevin Hendricks.
When we were talking to Jack.
135. Far change. Wide right. 135. Far change. 135. 135. 135.
Play is 1:35.
With a 2nd and 9.
See a little roll to the left here.
Look out. Schultz goes down. Looked as though nobody blocked Chris Williams. That's his 2nd sack of the night.
Mike Kieselak's got to get out in front of him. He's got to know that his quarterback's coming to the left.
Chris Williams is a load, too, about 305 pounds.
There's Mike Kieselak trying to push him. You try to push that guy.
Oh. Get a bulldozer to push him back to the 29-yard line with a 3rd and 20. 4 wide out group for Schultz. Deep sideline, in and out of the hands of Lee Morris and Cedric Stallworth in the coverage. So San Antonio's going to have to kick it away, and this could cause an experience because Kent Sullivan's back in.
That's a planned play to throw an underthrown ball. The defender has no idea where that football is.
I hope Kent Sullivan gets into this one. This is a nice punt. High spiral. And the fair catch by Jason Johnson at the 35-yard line. Good for Kent. He's got it back in gear. It's 10-3 Frankfurt with 6:33 to go in the 3rd quarter.
If you're looking for a hotel that was made for you, welcome to Embassy Suites Hotels, where we made every room a 2-room suite so you can spread out and work, or stretch out and relax. Where we made breakfast free and easy to free up your schedule. Where we made beverages on the house so each evening you can loosen your tie and relax. Call 1-800-EMBASSY. We were made for each other.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
I'm going to send you the best support available.
For this team, no mission is impossible. Counter-Strike on USA, Sunday at 9.
Boomer, you don't always take shots from the opposition. Sometimes your own guys get you, right?
Well, sometimes they do, and I'll tell you what happens here. Is Ricky Boy says, hello, get out of the way now, give me the ball. But I'll tell you the reason is because Chris Williams, 6'3", 305 pounds, is wreaking all kind of havoc down in there.
Pass intended for Cedric Gordon, incomplete. Let's go with a swamp thing down on the sideline, Michael Barkan.
Woo, Lord, I'll tell you, we got Paul Rodriguez right here, and you're enjoying the game, but you're from L.A. Why are you here?
Because I'm trying to get away from the Los Angeles Police Department.
Everything's the same, I see. I want to know what you think of the game, and we're talking about helmet cam. What do you think of that?
I think helmet cam is a great idea. It's terrific. That's what turned me on. I saw it last week. This is one of the reasons I think this league is going to work.
What do you think? You ever play any football?
No, I'm Chicano. The closest thing I can get to playing football is kicking it.
Back to you, Brad. I can't compete.
Okay. Two comedians taking the seats up down there on the 50. Meanwhile, a pass is complete to the 45 and a first down. Ken Watson thought he had an interception at the end of the play. We'll get another look.
This is a seam pattern to be run up in between the zones.
Cedric Gordon made the catch.
It's going to be on early downs.
Good job holding on to it. He almost got it stripped.
Cover 3 from that.
20-yard pass play. Tony Baker back to the Frankfurt ground game, and he's got about a 4-yard pickup to the 41. Tim Walton in on the tackle. That's Jason Garrett, who injured his shoulder last week. Separated shoulder, will be out about 5 weeks, they think.
You know, they have an interesting concept here in the World League that when you lose one of your quarterbacks, or actually one of your players, they have to go to a pool of players that are located in Dallas. It's called Team Dallas. And there are about 60 guys down there that practice for about an hour a day and look at some films, I guess. And when somebody gets hurt, they go to Team Dallas and pull a guy from that pool of players.
Mike Johnson, the backup quarterback now for San Antonio from that team. Tony Baker. And he's going to have a first down, it looks like, at the 35-yard line. Sean Dykes ran him down. They may have to take a look at this one. It's right on the 35, and that's where the marker is. See if they bring the chains out that yard over there on the far side.
No,
nope,
all offense is really, Brad, is execution by all 11 players. If you're dropping back the pass, your quarterback needs time. He needs his protection from his offensive lineman. He has to put the ball in an area where the receiver can catch it.
There, we're not.
And that's exactly what Frankfurt's doing now. They're catching the ball and they're executing.
Boy, there was no execution. It didn't appear in the first half. Here comes a blitz. Baker cuts outside down to the 30-yard line. Flag down.
Your receiver was holding.
Cedric Gordon got a piece of Gary Richard, it looked like, out there in the flat.
Holding 88 offense.
You can see on the replay just how clear this hold is here. Watch Cedric. But he actually grabs him on the outside. Tackles him.
Tackles him. Nice tackle, Cedric. Tony Baker goes down. It would have been a 5-yard gain. Instead, they walk it off the other way. Back out to the 40-yard line. Jack Elway, head coach of the Galaxy.
Okay, doubles right. Doubles right. 80 Z swing. Doubles right, 80 Z swing.
There we go, doubles right. 80
Where's Cedric at?
Watch the blitz.
Okay.
Watch the blitz.
He's screaming, watch the blitz. He's telling his inside receivers, watch the blitz. Watch your Z receiver, the inside down here to the left, running an out and up pattern down the sideline.
On 1st and 15, blitz.
There you go.
Deep ball in and out of the hands of Jason Johnson. And that's one you got to hold on to as well. Kennedy Wilson.
Well, you know, that's a tough play for that receiver. I mean, if you're Jerry Rice, you're making that play. I mean, but,
no, it's second down. Doubles right, 8. Second down. Doubles right, 80 Z swing. Doubles right, 80 Z swing.
There you go.
You're going to call the same play.
Doubles right, 80 Z swing. On set.
That's a 4-2
Watch the
front,
blitz.
wasn't it?
Hustle out.
They're talking about a 4-2 front. They mean that the defensive scheme for the San Antonio Riders is 4 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers. And here they come blitzing again.
There's the twing out to Baker. And Baker is all the way down near a first down at the 25-yard line. Tony Baker gets the wheels moving. He gets out there in a hurry.
And that's a real good call versus a blitz by your linebackers, because your linebackers are usually responsible for that.
80 Z swing. Doubles left, 80 Z swing.
Just keep calling the same play. If San Antonio's going to be playing the same defense.
Perez is warming up.
Doubles left.
In this quarter, he's 7 of 11 for 130 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, let's watch Baker swinging to the left here now. And if San Antonio is blitzing, they're light in the weak side flat. There it is.
Wide open. Oh, and Baker, it goes through his hands. He would have had at least 15 more yards out there of open territory.
Right now, they're just, it's almost like pitching the ball to Baker out of the backfield. They're taking advantage of his speed, his ability to catch the ball.
You know, Oliver Luck, the general manager, told us he thought maybe they'd try to throw to Tony Baker 10 times tonight. But I don't know.
Well, he had a little trouble right there, just didn't concentrate.
4th down.
4th and 1.
Dual backfield. Now they switch to an I. Baker the tailback. First man, Bartalo. I don't think he got it. No way. San Antonio's defense rises up, led by Tim Walton, number 57.
That's a turnover created by the defense right there. That's a big play that this San Antonio team needed. The crowd needed something to get them going, and that's exactly what they got right there.
So the Galaxy, they've been working in San Antonio territory much of this 3rd quarter, but they came up with a bad snap and thus no chance for a field goal on their last drive. And then after a good-looking drive, they come up short on 4th down, and with 3:07 to go, 3rd quarter, it's still 10-3.
2:36 on 1.
2:36.
The right tackle needs a little help there. A little extra tutoring session coming out of the huddle.
First down from the 26 for San Antonio. Salt sets, had it batted in the air. Terry Fleming got a hand on it.
This defense is doing a real nice job. They took the films from last week and they studied how those quarterbacks from San Antonio were moving out of the pocket, and the outside defensive linebackers, or the ends, in this case it was a linebacker, Fleming, stayed at home and forced Lee Saltz to pull up as opposed to getting outside. Good play by Fleming right there.
Saltz goes out, completes it to John Garrett, and Garrett's mugged on the far side. Got it out near the 33-yard line.
Finch and Seals. They really laid down John Garrett. This is the blitz, and here comes Yeppy.
Powell with the blitz.
And again, Lee shows good poise in getting rid of that ball. When they're saying Yeppy Powell is a small guy, I saw him down on the field. This guy's a house.
Big third down
Here he
for
comes
San Antonio.
Here he comes again.
Saltz throws to the sideline, incomplete. And Cedric Stallworth knocked it away again, number 27. He had an interference call earlier. He made a couple of nice plays. That time the pass intended for Ronnie Williams, the tight end.
Defensive coaches said they are going to bring the pressure. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Lee. They're going to try to force him out of the pocket. Exactly what they're doing. They're bringing 6 guys almost on every play. In the NFL, you usually get 4 or 5 guys. You feel like you can get enough pressure on with those people. But these guys are bringing 6.
6th punt coming up for Kent Sullivan.
That makes for a very physical night for the quarterback.
Sullivan with a second good punt in a row now. Fair catch taken at the 28-yard line by Jason Johnson. 38-yard kick that time with 1:58
Way to go
in the third quarter. Let's take a walk down Riverwalk here in San Antonio. It's a Galaxy by 7.
Okay, say, do I love the authentic frosty mug taste of A&W root beer?
Marker.
Action. God, was that an earring? Action. What the?
Marker.
Get rid of the silly jewelry.
Ooh, silly!
It's the taste that made A&W famous.
Enter the A&W season opener sweepstakes and you could win a weekend at a fantasy baseball camp and get the chance to go home with a 1991 Mercury Capri or one of 5,000 other prizes. Enter the A&W season opener sweepstakes today.
Did you know the cost of 2 business calls from these Detroit mechanics to Atlanta may surprise you?
Vintage cars are my specialty.
With AT&T Long Distance, your small business can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices.
I treat cars like people.
Even though the other company would like you to believe,
See ya.
they always save you lots of money.
That's all I save? Drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Competitive price, another AT&T advantage.
How about a better hand soap?
Not us, we can't cope. We don't need no lava soap, nope.
Regular soap won't always work, but lava with pumice will. Interested?
Nope, nope, nope.
Lava, but don't try to cope without it soap.
Can a Clarion car cassette deck shatter this glass? Yep. Clarion Car Audio.
As they talk it over on the Galaxy sideline, let's take a look at the World League Silver Bullet receiving leaders through the first week of action. Kenny Bell of Birmingham on top with 10 catches. Dwight Pickens, who we're seeing here tonight, with 8. Monty Gilbreth with 7. It's a Coors Silver Bullet receiving leaders. Loose ball. San Antonio has got it, but they blew this dead.
Forward pass.
Anthony Cooney thought he was going to score 6 there.
That was a shovel pass. And a shovel pass is legal. That is a legal forward pass as long as the quarterback does it. That's kind of close. We got to run that back and see if that was backwards or forwards and see where the ball ended up.
No instant replay in the World League, so no one takes a look at it while Perez goes out to his tight end Fortune out to the 34-yard line. Nice lick put on him by Anthony Cooney, who wanted that touchdown and just took it out on the Galaxy tight end.
I'd like to see them use Fortune a little bit more. They've had good success, and they've thrown the ball to him twice for good yardage. Let's take a look at this now. He releases the ball on the 21, and the ball lands on the 19.5. That's clearly a fumble, but there is no instant replay.
Wow. So the Galaxy got a break. They lead 10-3. Under a minute to go, third quarter.
Good thing there's no jumbotron here.
4. Perez throws behind an open receiver intended for Craig Morton, and Kenny Watson actually had the better play on the ball.
And you know Mike is upset there because he had some big yardage there if he hits him right in the numbers.
That's what Craig Morton's telling him as they head to the sideline. And a punt coming up for Frankfurt. Tom Wlaf, who has been blasting his kicks.
He's been kicking with the wind, though.
He got roughed up earlier in the game, and we didn't know if he was ever going to get up, but his last 2 punts have been around the 60-yard mark. This one end over end. Taken by Lee Morris. Morris is going to lose yardage on the return. Big hit by Tim Walton on the special teams. 46-yard kick and 3 yards on the return. I wonder where Michael Barkan is. We can only wonder, right?
Brad, I am on the roof, so you got your chance. If you were only here, I am, I'll tell you, Wrigley Field and the row houses behind Waveland Avenue have nothing on this place. I'm on top of Almost Towers, which are 15 stories above the stadium. What a view. I can't see a thing. Can you see me? I'm way up. I'm waving.
We got you. We just hope we can find the manager of that building to shut the elevator off. Pretty good view up there, Michael.
I'll tell you, Brad, I can see the Space Needle. I can see all the towers in San Antonio. It's a beautiful place. I can just about see the river from here. It's absolutely gorgeous. No moon. Is there a moon? No. just checking. Back to you.
Okay. Have fun. Be careful up there.
All right.
Second down and long. A loss of 3 by Andra Johnson brings up 2nd and 13.
Frankfurt defense has been awful tough tonight.
Third quarter comes to a close, and the Galaxy pulled in front this quarter. They lead by a touchdown at the end of 3 at Alamo Stadium. 10-3, Frankfurt in front.
He's married to the mob.
Got a major score coming up.
He's married to his badge.
Gonna be his last move.
They play cops and robbers for keeps.
Take him out and shoot him.
The movie that launched the series Crime Story on USA. Thursday at 9, 8 Central.
My name is J.J. Daggs. This is war between me and Anton Arcade.
The battle is boiling in the swamp. Swamp Thing on USA. An all-new episode Friday at 10:30.
I'm trying to call overseas. I think I remember the number, but... So I call the operator. But it's another long-distance company, and she can't give me an international number. Hey, AT&T does. She says, you're not dealing with AT&T.
If you miss dealing with AT&T, it's easier than ever to come back. Just call 1-800-621-0900 right now, and we'll switch you back for free.
They kept saying how much money I'd save. Then I get the first bill. I'm not kidding. I thought it was a typo. I mean, where were the big savings?
People who thought they could do better than AT&T are coming back for the real value. You can too. It's simple. Just call now and come back for free.
Takes longer getting through, but I'm saving a ton, right? Wrong.
You gotta read the fine print. I couldn't believe it.
You're not dealing with AT&T.
Oh, I am now.
1-800-621-0900 for dependable, crystal clear AT&T long-distance service. Call now and we'll switch you for free. You couldn't pick a better time to come back.
Back at Alamo Stadium, Brad Nessler and Boomer Esiason. Michael Barkan stuck in an elevator, we hope, in that building that he just did his last report from. We played 3 quarters. Frankfurt really picked it up, Boomer, in that third quarter.
They sure did, and you got to give credit to the Frankfurt defense. San Antonio can't solve that defensive front for Frankfurt. We knew that they had 5 linebackers. We didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to penetrate them now.
Let's see if the Riders can get their offense in gear. In and out of the hands of Bill Hess, the intended receiver, on Lee Salt's pass. Galaxy in the third quarter, we talked about how they picked it up. As we take a look statistically, did they ever, huh?
They sure did, and it came down to execution. Mike Perez has been on target with the passes tonight. His receivers had a little trouble holding on in the first half, but the second half they really came out and did a nice job for him. They found Chad Fortune a little bit, made some nice plays for him.
Third and long for the Riders. Salt's with plenty of time. He's going deep. Man out there, and he's got it. Inside the 35 to the 32 is John Garrett. What a catch.
There could be offensive pass interference there if he's not careful. That was some kind of catch. John was with us in Cincinnati, and he was one of those fringe players that could have made our ball club, and he got caught in numbers. That is a terrific catch.
Marker is down,
But
and the defense arguing.
It could have been offensive pass interference, though.
Ron Blum, our referee.
Call it defense. Watch John run down here the field. Watch him push off right here and makes a beautiful diving catch.
Salts to Garrett, 49 yards.
We were talking to Mike Riley yesterday. The Garrett brothers are the type of players that you want on your football team. Never late for meetings. Very smart players who know what's going on. They know how to play football. They know what it takes to be effective on the field.
First down for the Riders under Johnson now with a ground game. Down to about the 26-yard line. Get another look at John Garrett on the receiving end of this 49-yard pass.
Watch his left hand right here. Go out. And I'm going to tell you, you know who taught him to catch the ball like that?
Oh, no, I can't wait.
Not me.
Oh, okay.
Bruce Coslett, the head coach of the New York Jets. He was our wide receiver coach at Cincinnati when we got John. And he taught all the receivers that when they run down there and they dive for the catch, to keep their hands together so the ball doesn't slip through their hands.
2nd and 5, Salt's under a blitz from Pau again. Has to keep it. Mike Teeter brings him down near the line of scrimmage.
John Garrett was actually a receiver coach at Princeton last year with his brother Jason.
College championship tonight with 13 minutes left to play.
Lee Saltz takes a couple of somersaults as he lands at the 26-yard line. 3rd down at 5.
Here comes the blitz.
Here comes everybody. He got rid of it, but nobody out in the middle. And it was Mark Mraz, the right defensive end.
If they can give him just a little bit of time, they're going to make some big plays.
Mraz, originally a draft choice of the Atlanta Falcons. They liked his pass rushing capabilities. He had 16 sacks as a senior at college at Utah State. Here he comes.
You only have 5 guys to block, and they're bringing 7. There are 2 that are going to be free somewhere, and you got to get rid of that ball.
Teddy Garcia has changed shoes. And he's going to try it from 44 yards out. No chance. That one came close to one of Willie Nelson's speakers down in the end zone, and that's about it. 12:54 to go in the ball game. Still 10-3, Frankfurt in front.
The Allstate Good Hands Play of the Week, brought to you by Allstate. For home, auto, life, and business insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. San Antonio safety Carlo Cheatham showed extra care in grabbing this interception for this week's Allstate Good Hands Play of the Week.
This shows where we were throughout the whole thing. You know, looking at that now, I realize how close it was. And this is what's left of our garage. We didn't have much left in there at all. And this is what's left of our camping trailer that ended up in our neighbor's tree. They were here right away to help us out, and that's
Obviously.
all true.
Look around.
It's only been a few days, and they're already here rebuilding our house.
Allstate still, even though it's been 3.5 weeks later, they're still calling to find out how we're doing.
Dressing up, stepping out, if you're talking about fun, that's what it's all about. Shake it up, whoa, put it on, check it out.
When you're in a place where the beat goes on, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
We're talking about good, like it's the right beer now. Shake it out, shake it out.
Alamo Stadium, Brad Nessler, Boomer Esiason, Michael Barkan, and our USA crew on a perfect night for football.
Good play, baby. Oh, that's Lee Saltz telling Mark Mraz, good play, baby. I don't know if I want to be calling Mraz baby after he hits me like that. I think I've had a few other words for him.
Perez on first down, got a slant and a completion and a first down out to Jason Johnson, his wide receiver.
I think what he's just trying to do is say, hey, you made a good play, now just leave me alone maybe the next few times.
Doubles right, doubles right.
12:35 to go in the ball game. 10-3. Frankfurt in front. They've been in San Antonio territory much of the second half, but only have one touchdown to show for it.
They're going into a stiff win now, so we'll see what kind of offense they got.
San Antonio comes off. Donnie Gardner, I think, and Greg Ross are the two across.
Here we go. Real good job by Perez.
5 yards.
Real good job by Perez using his voice flex.
99 defense. First down repeated.
He knows that San Antonio's defense is extremely aggressive, and he took advantage of that by using his voice flexion.
Next week on USA, live first and second round coverage of golf's most prestigious event, the Masters from Augusta. Watch the world's best golfers. And they all vying for that green jacket. Live coverage begins next Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern, right here on USA. On 1st and 5, Tony Baker gets the call and got it across the 45-yard line out near the 47. Still about a yard shy of the first down. Greg Gilbert ran him down. Tony Baker, who played collegiately with Ernest Biner at East Carolina. Not a bad backfield.
Nice backfield.
Second down. About 2 to go. Short 2 for the Galaxy with 11:35 to play in the ball game. Steve Bartello and Tony Baker will be in the high backfield here. Down to 3 on the 35-second clock. They got to hustle. I don't know if he got the first.
He's short. He's short. He's short about a yard.
Boomer, when you got that huddle clock down and you know you've got to press a little bit, sometimes that takes away from the play you've called, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, you're trying to hurry everybody up. We should go I-Left 36. They're calling 34 ISO here.
The man you're looking at is defensive coordinator Greg Newhouse for San Antonio. And a timeout taken by Frankfurt. They want to think about this third down conversion. Third down and a yard to go. 10 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the ball game. Frankfurt wants to make sure they've got the right play. We'll find out if they got the right play when we come back.
With every step, your child gets closer and closer to the problem of drug and alcohol abuse. Don't let it happen. Find out about drug abuse resistance education, or DARE America. It's an in-school program where community police officers teach kids how to say no to drugs the first time and every time. Support DARE America before your child gets too close to the edge. KFC is proud to be a national sponsor of DARE America.
The music you love is part of your life. Now there's an easy way to collect the world's most beautiful music. Announcing great composers from Time Life Music. Start with the greatest music of Mozart. More than 2 full hours of his best works. At the low price of only $9.99 for 2 compact discs or 2 double-length cassettes. Great Composers brings you the most memorable music of Bach, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Chopin. Every volume features one great composer, yours to preview at no risk. Keep only the albums you want. There's no minimum to buy, and you may cancel anytime. So call now to enjoy Mozart for a 10-day free audition and discover music you'll enjoy for a lifetime. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-388-4700 or send just $9.99 for 2 cassettes or 2 compact discs, plus $3.50 shipping to Mozart, P.O. Box 1880, Department 5, Alexandria, Virginia.
It has been called the ultimate competition in golf. Share the tradition of the Masters only on USA. Thursday and Friday live at 4 Eastern. Rebroadcast at 9.
Here we go. I-Left 36.
I-Left 36, Boomer.
That's going to be an off tackle right. Fullback's going to be leading, trying to kick out on the outside defensive end.
On 3rd and 1.
There you go.
Tony Baker dropped in his tracks by Ledbetter. Flags are down as Mark Ledbetter just leveled Tony Baker.
Where the flags are, that could be defensive offside. It usually looks like a defender is usually in the neutral zone.
That's what the Galaxy is saying.
Supposed to be neutral, and if a guy is in there, it can't be a neutral zone, can it?
Defense, offside. 58, 5 yard.
Roderick Manning, offside. Defensive coordinator Greg Newhouse looks on.
Mark Ledbetter made an excellent play to avoid the lead block by the fullback. Stop Ricky Blake in the backfield. You can see right here, the fullback is responsible for Ledbetter. does a nice job sticking Tony Baker, I should say, for a 5-yard loss.
But they get the 5-yard gain on the penalty. 7 for each team. And now the Galaxy back in Rider territory. Perez with pressure goes across the middle, and he's got Jason Johnson, who's been really his favorite target this half, to the 31-yard line. A first down, a pickup of 17.
They moved Perez out of the pocket to his right, and he threw back across the middle.
First down for the Galaxy.
Johnson right there in front of Richard, number 44, makes the catch.
Johnson does a nice job coming back to the ball. But you want your receivers going the same way your quarterback is going when you have a designed play. The touchdown pass that they had was a play that was spontaneous, and the receivers were going the other way.
A hard count pulls San Antonio offside again. Baker on the toss, and he'll go down for a loss, but it looked again like the Riders jumped offside. Greg Ross, who made the stop, injured his foot there. We'll get the call from our referee.
Offside, 22 defense.
Sean Dykes, the corner.
Corner blitz coming on, and those corners are not used to being up there and listening to the quarterback bark out his cadence. Perez did a nice job there of using his voice again and pulled Dykes offside this time.
62-3 tie.
4 or 5 will be back there, but
3 tie.
Mike Riley on the right, coach of the Riders. Jack Elway on the left, the head coach of the Galaxy. Both looking for their first win in World League action. And right now, Frankfurt on top by a touchdown with less than 10 minutes to play in the ballgame. Perez to throw, swings it out to Baker in the flat. And Baker gets down to the 23. Ledbetter ran him out.
They keep going back to that play. That play has been very successful for them tonight. I believe Perez is 7 for 8 on that swing play.
There's the numbers and how they've improved in the second half for Mike Perez. And they would have been better in the first half had it not been for some drop passes.
Right, 92X.
Looks like there could have been a little bit of a face mask right here. Mark Ledbetter making sure that Tony Baker knows who tackled him.
Baker's got 4 catches. Ball way in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Ken Watson, who brings it back the other way for San Antonio. That deflection went about 15 yards in the air, and he picked it off. We have a marker down at the 22-yard line. So let's wait and see. Boy, that one looked like a rock skipping off a pond out there.
Illegal low block, 58 on the return team after the change. 15 yards, 1st and 10, San Antonio.
So the penalty goes against San Antonio, but they keep the football.
What happens is when an interception or a fumble happens, that is a change of possession, and on the change of possession, you cannot block below the waist. And the reason being is because you have a lot of guys running that don't see other guys coming after them to make the block, and it can be a very dangerous block. That's exactly what happened right there. You'll see right here.
Watson intercepts now. We'll look for the block.
As Watson runs.
It was just out of screen.
Just out of screen, but
Kenny Watson gets the interception and gives San Antonio another chance.
The rule is in there to protect the players, and the players should know those rules and why they're in there.
Backs it up to the 11-yard line. Blitz coming on Saltz, and he had it swatted down again. And that time it was Tim Brody who came flying in from his linebacker position. We talked about him earlier, Boomer. He's kind of a hybrid linebacker, really more like a guy in the secondary.
Well, they say they play with 5 linebackers, but actually 2 of their outside linebackers are actually a normal size for a strong safety. So it looks a little bit more menacing on paper than it does actually on the field. But it is kind of confusing for the quarterback to figure out which one of these defensive backs, linebackers, is going to be blitzing.
2nd and 10. Saltz with some pressure again, but he got rid of that one, and the ball completed. First down out to the 24 to Lee Morris.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to move Lee around, so he's not taking as many hits as he's been taking so far. Good. Again, isolation coverage, one-on-one. That's what you want. You have your 2 best athletes on the field working after each other, defensive back versus a wide receiver.
Fourth quarter here at Alamo Stadium, 10-3. The Riders trying to tie it up, or they could have a chance to win should they decide to go for two, but first they need a touchdown. Markers are down. We may have a holding call as finally Saltz goes down.
John Husby has been beaten around the corner the last 2 weeks on almost the same play. Lee Saltz already got hit once. Jason Garrett got hurt last week. And almost the same thing happened here, but Husby
10 yards, previous spot.
was not going to allow his quarterback to take a hit. This is absolutely well, this is, you know, that you want your offensive lineman to be like this because you don't want to take a shot from the blind side. And Husby knew that he was beat, and he did the next best thing: protect your quarterback. You can see Husby gets beat around the corner. There he is.
He goes down, almost got his own quarterback.
So you don't see, he actually threw. Actually grabbed him by the jersey and threw him in front of the quarterback.
So the penalty makes it a first down situation way back at the 14-yard line for Saltz. Pump fakes, and now he's going to run with it. Got it across the 25 to the 26, back across the original line of scrimmage as he picked up a dozen on the scramble. Keith McCoy made the tackle.
This is where Lee has an opportunity to lead by example. Play hard, play tough nose. Don't worry about the sacks. Don't worry about taking the hits.
Brings up second down and 7 as he got 13 on that run. 4 wide receiver offense for Saltz.
He's audibling at the line of scrimmage right now.
Little draw play inside. Going nowhere is Ricky Blake. Kevin Hendricks has had a big night defensively, made the stop. Rippy Pau also there.
When he audibles at the line of scrimmage, he's looking at the defensive front and the linebackers, and he tries to find a weakness and tries to get the proper play called versus the weakness of the defense. Sometimes it works, and sometimes the defense fools you.
That time, no gain, 3rd and 7. Blitz coming. Powell got picked off. Saltz got the throw away, but Cedric Stallworth knocked it away from Lee Morris. Since that interference call Cedric Stallworth had earlier in this half, he has played a nice job on the corner over there for Frankfurt. Punting situation.
Physically, it's one of the toughest positions in football, if not the toughest cornerback, especially when you ask a guy to play man coverage against some of the finest athletes on the football field and wide receivers.
Kent Sullivan.
And they literally are out on an island.
Sullivan to kick. Inside his own 15. Frankfurt jumped offside on the left side, and Sullivan got all of this. What a great kick by Sullivan. San Antonio trying to shag it down before it goes in the end zone. How can Kent Sullivan hit one for no yardage and then blast one that goes 74 yards?
He had a talk with himself at halftime.
Wow, did he ever.
And he said, when I kick in the 4th quarter with the win, I'm really going to let it go.
But a penalty marker down as Frankfurt, the left side of their defensive front, looked like they jumped. Maybe Kevin Woolfolk, number 50.
I think what you have to do here is decline this
defense
penalty.
Offside. The result of the play is a touchback.
You don't turn down a kick like that. So Frankfurt will have it at their own 20-yard line as we get a little mariachi action here from San Antonio, Texas.
Nobody's cooking like today's KFC.
I'm Dave Johnson. For my training for the 1992 decathlon, I switched to the pump from Reebok. When I'm pumped up, my feet have support, protection, and a custom fit for leaping, vaulting, spinning, jumping, sprinting, hurling, racing, running, throwing, and shot putting. Now I'm the guy who knows cross-training. Pump up and air out.
Switch to the greatest sports performance shoe in the world, the Reebok Pump. Pump up and air out.
When your office is 200,000 acres of rugged woodland, and you train the men who prevent anything from happening to it, you can't depend on just any deodorant. Men count on Old Spice deodorant. It works to prevent odor, to neutralize it before it starts. There's nothing else this effective with the clean classic scent of Old Spice.
Hi, Aunt. Update at the office.
You bet. Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
Catch the action with Dan Marino as the Barcelona Dragons battle the Raleigh-Durham Skyhawks. World League Football on USA. Saturday at 8 Eastern.
Sold out Alamo Stadium in San Antonio. They're hoping their riders can come from 7 back to tie this game up. Right now it is 10-3 Frankfurt, and they've got the ball. So let's see what the Riders defense can come up with. They got the crowd into it during the timeout. Let's see if the defense is into it and up to the occasion. Perez and the Galaxy offense from the 20. Inside draw to Baker. Big opener for Tony Baker. He's got 16 out to the 36-yard line. Michael Barkan with a guy that's happy about that play, I'm sure. Michael?
Absolutely, Brad. I'm with Frankfurt General Manager Oliver Luck, himself a record holder at quarterback at West Virginia. You have to be happy with your quarterback's performance tonight, especially after last week.
Sure, Mike Perez is playing very well. He's throwing the ball well. We dropped a few passes, but he's on the mark today.
Let's talk about the general manager position. I know you've had your share of headaches over in Frankfurt. You speak German, but nonetheless, it's been a little bit of a problem at times. Tell me some of that.
Well, travel's a big problem. Trying to move 50 guys plus equipment overseas through customs, etc., has often been a big problem. But we're getting a good handle on that problem. That'll be solved.
Mein Gott und Himmel. Back to you.
We got a timeout with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the ball game. It is 10-3 Frankfurt as Mike Perez comes over to talk with head coach Jack Elway. And while we've got this break, let's go to Diana Nyad in New York for an update on our other game. Diana?
Brad, Barcelona's quarterback Scott Ernie's having a great night up in Montreal. He looks right, and Gene Taylor leaps for the catch. His second touchdown reception of the night. That's 31 straight points for the Barcelona Dragons. Let's go back to Brad Nessler.
The Dragons about set to go to 2-0. London already 2-0 in the European division.
I would think the European division is representing itself rather well.
Sure are. Frankfurt, if they win this, they'd go to 1-1, and that would be the best division in the World League after 2 weekends of play. Orlando off to a 2-0 start.
And given the problems that Oliver Luck was telling us about, I wonder what the problems for Barcelona and London have been.
That's right. Next week, we will see Montreal and Birmingham in Montreal. That's where Michael, Boomer, and I will be. Hope you're along with us for that one. 10-3 in this game with 5.5 to play. And the Frankfurt Galaxy just 5.5 minutes away from a victory. San Antonio, after a 1-point loss last week, a disheartening setback with a missed extra point against Orlando in the final minute, the difference in that ball game. And tonight they're down only a touchdown. Their defense has played pretty well, with the exception of one long pass play from that man, Mike Perez, to Cedric Gordon for the score. And there's the numbers for Mike tonight.
Not a great night in terms of completion percentage, but again, we've said all night he's been on target. I mean, he's put the ball where it's had to be catched, and his receivers have responded in the second half.
How about Kerwin Bell, another 4 touchdown outing after he showed us a 5 touchdown performance last week. He's way out on top in the quarterback statistics right now for the World League after a couple of weeks. He only played about 3 quarters the other day.
And they scored 58 points, I believe it was.
Alex!
Ooh.
Orlando can put up the points. They've proven that, as they have 80, make it 93 points in 2 games.
Kerwin had a good week. He was 29 of 44. That's an exciting team to watch. That really is. Tom Matthews has done a real good job down there with the 5 weeks that he's had with those players.
Mike Perez, 11 out of 19 for 165 yards this half. Right now, he just wants to use up 5.5 minutes. That's what he should have been thinking. Picked off by Greg Gilbert. San Antonio's got it back at the 32-yard line.
Mike probably thought that he could get it over Greg Gilbert, underestimating Gilbert's leaping ability. Nice catch for the big man.
I like offensive football, Boomer, but you're up a touchdown with a 1st and 10 and 5.5 to play, and you throw this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what. If he just gets it over him, he's got Fortune running down the middle wide open. That's a great play by Gilbert. I like the aggressiveness of Frankfurt offense.
San Antonio's offense now at the Galaxy 32-yard line.
They're going to blitz. Here they come.
Saltz just got rid of it, and it's intercepted right back by Cedric Stallworth, and he's got room in front. Stallworth still on his feet, cuts back. He's all the way to the 38-yard line. So take away any momentum the San Antonio defense could come up with. Cedric Stallworth just ended all that with an interception and a 37-yard return.
Cedric read that ball all the way. He read it all the way.
Then he got a convoy in front and got it back to the 38-yard line.
At the San Antonio 38.
And the Galaxy picks up big yardage after back-to-back interceptions there in San Antonio territory, and a loose ball, and San Antonio's got it back. Give me a break. 3 turnovers in a row. Gardner with a fumble recovery.
Wow, this is like a revolving door out here.
We might end up with more turnovers than points before it's over.
This is the one thing that has plagued the league early on here has been the turnovers.
One thing I don't know is if the World League has a fine for throwing the football in the stands, but Donnie Gardner will find out. He just tossed that baby almost out of the stadium after the fumble recovery.
San Antonio ball, first down and 10 at the 37.
Baker got hit by Walton. The ball came loose. Gardner recovers. Back comes the San Antonio offense. Let's see if they hold on to it. Andre Johnson broke a tackle. 45 midfield. First down, Andre Johnson.
Boy, that is some nice feet. Andre just pulled his feet right out from a would-be tackler and made a nice run.
These people are having fun. Why not? Their team with another chance to come back with 5 minutes to go.
Spread right! Spread right! 5:24!
He's got 10 seconds on the play clock. 6.
They're trying to move the sticks on the far side, so the officials weren't helping the cause there either. And now they reset.
Let's go get down. We got to snap in 5 seconds.
The clock. Saltz gets his troops set. First down at the 48 of Frankfurt.
Here comes the blitz.
The Galaxy bringing it. Pass to Ronnie Williams at tight end. If he can get away, he'll have a big gainer, but hanging with it out there defensively was Stallworth to make the tackle. Ronnie Williams, who was a big part of the offense for San Antonio a week ago. Number 82 right there at 4 catches last week. Doing a nice job this week as well.
That's a nice matchup for San Antonio. If they can get the big guy out into the flat and break a tackle with the way that Frankfurt is blitzing, one missed tackle means a big play for San Antonio.
Williams got 6 on the reception with his 3rd catch of the night. 2nd and 4. Saltz just got rid of it. Got a man. Hess! He's got it at the 5.